Witness to a Century, published in the year 2001, Britain. A World of Empire of Voltaire, Schubert, and Turner, of aristocrats and nobility, of bowler hats and busques, a world that disappeared half a century ago but continues to exist in the mind and abode of Neeraj C. Chaudhary at Oxford. He has gone to great lengths to preserve the sanctity of his island of excellence in what he considers a sea of decadence, deprivation, and decline. Screening callers and visitors and leading a insular life, the only intrusion he has allowed into the fortress of a bygone era is television, and that has only helped strengthen his conviction of the decline of the West and the rise of mediocrity. Not surprising then that when he turned 98, possibly making him the world's oldest writer in English language, 100-year-old German author Ernst Jünger is probably the oldest. The world did not celebrate with him. In fact, the event passed by virtually unnoticed, and herein lies the tragedy. For Neeraj Chaudhary is probably one of contemporary India's greatest men of letters. He is perhaps the last of the intellectuals in the 18th and 19th century mold where writing and intellectual pursuits were regarded as leisure activities rather than an occupation. He is reviled and revered in equal measure, reviled by those who see him as a reactionary right wing commentator on Indian history, and revered by those who marvel at the breadth of his learning, his mastery of language, and the brutal frankness with which he conveys his message. But there is no doubt that he is a chronicler par excellence of this turbulent century. Born in 1897 in the small town of Kishorganj in present day Bangladesh, he shot to fame at the age of 50 with the publication of the autobiography of an unknown Indian. Some 20 years later, he migrated to the UK, took up residence at Oxford, and continued his prolific writing career. The highlight of his years in Oxford was the award of an honorary D.Litt degree from the university, which in many ways was ironical considering that Chaudhary had failed his MA at back India. During the ceremony, the address on the occasion was given not in the traditional Latin but in Bengali. For days after the ceremony, recall friends, Chaudhary would greet visitors in his newly acquired academic regalia. In 1986, At the age of 89, he completed the second part of his autobiography, Thy Hand Great Anarch. What makes these two volumes unique is their combination of the history of the individual and the history of the country. However, as Chaudhary himself admits, he is not content with being a mere recorder of events and has never been carried away by the currents of history, but has navigated through them. Thus, in these two volumes, he propounds the thesis that the history of India in the 20th century is one of decline, moral, economic, and political. Not surprisingly, this never made him a favorite of the Indian establishment. But if Chaudhary was disillusioned with India, he quickly grew equally disenchanted with the West. Having first visited England and Europe in 1955, a trip he considered as the most exciting and interesting time in his life, he was dismayed to see his ideal crumble before his very eyes when he moved here permanently in the 1970s. Consequently, while the West remains deaf to Chaudhary's lament, the angry, solitary old man, now deprived of the unflinching support of his wife of 60 years, is working on what he hopes will be a definitive book on the decay of the West. Moreover, Chaudhary is also took upon himself the unpopular role of an iconoclast and targeted Bengali culture's best known icon, Tagore. While Chaudhary's critical appraisal of Tagore is commendable, he has been unable to elevate it to any significant academic height. A neighbor comes by twice a day to look him up. Chaudhary describes the routine laconically. Every morning at 8:15, the woman from next door comes to check that I am not dead in my bed and returns in the evening to check that I am not dead elsewhere in the house. Soon after the visit, breakfast is served by hired help who also prepares the other meals for the day. This help is possible due to the support from the local authority and his government pension. Chaudhary warms up his lunch and dinner himself. Occasionally, he cooks the odd dish. He spends the morning hammering away at his laptop before sitting down with his favorite books or music, both Indian and Western classical. If the weather is agreeable, he spruces himself up and goes for a brisk walk, mostly to run errands such as post letters or do some shopping. After lunch, he rests for a couple of hours before returning to either his books or music. He also watches television with growing dismay. He expressed his disillusionment with the BBC. Pride and Prejudice. They have ruined it. He sighs.